Okay, so we are in Calle13. I couldn't understand. I didn't put it together. I asked the previous video, which is connected to this one, what's the name of the street, and he says 13, which means 13, of course. Calle13. So this is the Calle13. Obviously, some main street here. You have to be careful with pickpocketers here. Okay, so we keep going to my hotel where I'm staying for. I stayed the first night in Bogota and I stay 2 more nights, I guess. Then I got some people to meet here regarding business, and then I moved to Medellin. And then if nothing happened, I think I moved to Ecuador and to all South European countries. So here you can see, as I said in the previous videos, the infrastructure in Bogota or in Colombia is not so bad, you know. Of course you can see some poverty here, but where don't you see it? You see it in New York, you see it in Toronto, you see it in Berlin, in Vienna, you see it everywhere, in Paris. Maybe I haven't been to Europe for years, so maybe I forget it. And before I didn't live there 7-8 years. I was just 1 year in Spain, so maybe I'm forgetting the quality of the roads. But compared to Dominican Republic, it seems to me quite civilized infrastructure town, Bogota, compared to Dominican Republic. And services are better, people are much polite and more professional, faster, intelligent. So it appears to be, it seems to be that Colombia is a really interesting country with a huge potential, and it looks like they were able to turn some of this potential and not like in Dominican Republic, just being arrogant, stupid and lazy and looking at each other like, would you? This is a typical attitude in Dominican Republic. They're lazy and they deserve it, all what they got, the corruption, because Dominicans are people who don't want to work. They don't want to build up their country. They want to sit on the shit, kidnap the foreigners, beg money, and do nothing. I would say in Colombians, they're willing to work hard, as I can really judge very, carefully, because I'm 24 hours here, but I've been to 60 plus countries, and I'm quite, I would say, without saying it shy or boasting, quite experienced man. So it seems to me that Colombian people are willing to sacrifice or work hard to make money. But there's not a begging mentality. But the Dominicans, you could see that Dominican people just stop you, normal people on the street, and they beg money. And if you didn't give it to them, they were angry, So it's a country of beggars and lazy cockroaches, So you can see the everyday hustle on streets of Bogota. Calle13, which means 13. 13, Calle 13. So we are coming back to the hotel Takeuma. Forgive me, I have terrible memory for names. Otherwise I got a good memory, but some of the Spanish names, and I'm quite tired by moving and traveling, so it feels a little bit worse on my mood and cognitive abilities, but after the massage I feel much better. Possibly I go for another one. Okay. Walking on streets of Bogota. Calle13 Street, Boulevard 13. Oh, gracias. When I was leaving from the airport and I was in northern part of the town, it looked really civilized and the infrastructure was even better. So here you can see street by street is changing, but as I said, it's much better than Santo Domingo. It was a third world shithole, you know. As well, the weather is much better here. It's 20 degrees, pleasant 20 degrees in Colombia in March. And this morning I was in San Felipe, in this kind of a hippie vibe, artistic part of the town where are a lot of artists. I would compare it to something like Kreuzberg, for example, in Berlin, San Fernando and Bogota. And I'm walking around 1.5 hours by walk to Santa Fe and to San Diego. My hotel is on the crossroad of these two barrios. Interesting thing in Spanish, barrio in Spanish or in Spain or in Colombia, it means part of the city, quarterhood, you know. But in Dominican Spanish, barrio is something which is called like a ghetto. You can translate it. So when you say you live in barrio, or what barrio is this and that, it has some pejorative, you know, connotation. But in Spain or here in Colombia, it just means part of the city. So I was in San Fernando barrio, and my hotel Takedoma, or whatever is the crazy name of it, I will brush it up when I'm there. It's on the edge of the San Diego and Santa Fe barrio. Yeah. You can see Colombian girls really attractive and beautiful, but I did some little research. I'm divorced, of course, just only once, but give me some time. Obviously, you know, I wanted to know how is it, and I will probably experience if I have some dates here. I don't know if it will evolve in some serious one, forgive me my cynicism, but I wanted to know how is it to date a Colombian girl. So I did some research on the internet, you know, some generalization, but into some degree we can believe it, you know, this kind of generalization. There was some guy, he says the best thing about them, they really family oriented and they really good at the bed, in the bed. The guy says, I was not born with my wife even after 9 years. So that's why they get so favorite, you know. Colombian women, without being rude. And then he says there was the positive things, and then he says the negative, that you expected to pay for everything, you know, that you have to pay for everything, you know. So the Colombian woman from the highest classes of society, when she grow old or when she's mature and she's supposed to have an independent life. It never happens because always her father paying for her. When she's a kid, then when she's teenager, then when she's adult, her father pay. And then she marries you, and then, you know, you substitute the father, so you have to pay, right? She will never give a shit how much it costs, how hard it is to earn money. She's just demanding, and she take it like something normal, right? So I don't know about you, but this is exactly the type of women which really don't attract me. So I don't think so. I have some serious relationship with Colombian women unless they are just the opposite, because I hate these sugar stupid babies and these spoiled brats, you know. Go to fucking work, you know. So, and of course even the women from poor parts of society, of course they always think you will pay for them. I guess it's similar in whole Latin American country. I think in Dominican Republic they call it chapoeadora. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It means the machine for cutting the grass, lawnmower machine. Chapoeadora. Oh my god, it's a difficult word. It means like she's collecting grass. She's like making money. She's like a money machine, you know. Gold digger. That's the American expression. So this is it. Yeah. So these little brats, you know, they beautiful, they good at the bed, obviously, but it would be this kind of a little infantile brats, you know, arrogant. Not all of them, of course, but I mean, good luck for Colombian man, you know. So that's, you know, what comes around goes around, my friends. If you have such attitude, you cannot expect that some people will, you know, use this attitude like foreigners. They come here, they look rich, they just have a, you know, some adventure or some affair with the girls, and then they leave. They lure them, just like me, right? But you know how it is. What comes around goes around. If you ask for it, you guys. I don't think so. It's normal to demand from somebody money, you know. I mean, like, get the fuck out of it. I love to treat the woman, you know, don't take me wrong. I'm a gentleman, I'm an Eastern European man. But I'm not here to spoil some little brat, you know. No, thank you. It was in Philippines, same shit, you know. I'm really saying hi to my fucking ex-wife. Fuck you, from Philippines. I took you to cleaners. You tried to take me to cleaners, but I took you to cleaners, you stupid bitch. Never ever tried to take a fucking Czech guy to cleaners. Fuck you. Hey, if you're watching Suzette Palmieri, fuck you. You fucking stupid gold digging bitch. But there were some good things what I learned from her. I mean, let's be in peace, you know. Anyway, fuck you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So I got such a feeling we're getting to the town, this financial district, as they call it. Where is my hotel? I hope so. At least this video has some qualities. Besides the bullshit I'm telling you, I hope so you're enjoying. Because I'm sure there are a lot of videos walking down the street in Bogota, but maybe this video will give you something positive. Jugos, 5,000. It means juice. Jugos are juices, natural juices. The food in Latin America is excellent, you know. Good thing in Dominican Republic, the food was really good. So good thing about Latin America, the food is really good. You cannot say this in Philippines, for example, right? The food is really bad there. So yeah, it's a really pity that the crime is in such a high levels, and the country is in some political, unrest, like neighboring Ecuador, where I'm heading to. Since January there is since half of January there is some 2 months lasting, and yesterday it was prolonged, or a couple of days ago I looked at the news, was prolonged the national emergency, because the number one narco-terrorist, whose name I obviously forgot because my memory is not good, escaped from prison, and there are some gangs who are having a party in Ecuador, so there is prolonged 60 days emergency state regime in Ecuador. So you can see these countries have a great potential, but what is it for? What is the point if if you don't use the potential? Here, as I said, I think Colombia is a country with enormous potential, and people are working, as I got it, after 24 hours, and they goal oriented. But what is the point if there is such a crime, So obviously people are afraid to live here in a mass, Otherwise, I think Latin America is the answer for nowadays situation in the world, which is nothing else. It can be nothing. It can be expressed by Estación de Policía Teusaquil. This situation in nowadays world, economical, emotional, financial, cultural, philosophical, psychological, cannot be expressed by no other word than chaos, or maybe falling apart, or some other expressions like end of the Euro-American civilization. Or the whole world is after COVID really destabilized. So I think the answer to first world, answer of obvious decline of, and it will never ever stop the decline. It will be worse and worse. The decline in first world, in Europe, Canada, and North America. The answer to this would be some third world countries which are really, which has a great potential, and it would be, for example, Latin American world, or some Asian countries which before COVID were really good, but now they got hit much more than Latin American countries. It depends which states, of course, but as I said in previous videos, Philippines, Sri Lanka are really shaken off. Seriously, Philippines is coming back to life, but Sri Lanka is finished forever. Similarly, there is different situation in different countries in South America. Like they say Argentina is finished forever. They say, some experts say that it's impossible just to heal the economy of Argentina. It's just finished. So of course it depends. But if I was searching some way out of the chaos and out of the decline of the first world, I would probably go to Colombia. I would probably go to Indonesia. I would certainly not go to USA, Canada, Japan. The HDP is just declining. It will never grow up. It's on the peak and it's just falling down. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Still 24 hours in Colombia, but I think it's really strong country, and look like even though I was not in Ecuador, but it's probably, I cannot say sure because I'm a heavy improviser in life and in traveling, but it's the following probably country which I visit. But what I learned without being there, and I can say it, I guess with some certain degree of certainty, that Ecuador is not so rich, or not so probably, even though it's interesting country economically as well, why not? But probably, let's say Peru, I will change it, Peru, where I want to go later on, and Bolivia is not probably the countries in South America. But who knows, Ecuador or Colombia, certainly, Brazil, you know. What else? Chile is not bad. The government bans in Chile. These countries, they have Mexico. These countries, they have their problems, but Panama, Costa Rica, as I said in the previous videos, Costa Rica is the safest country in the Latin America and the richest one. So it looks like these countries will go up and the first world will go down. But a lot of people forgetting, a lot of people trying to be smart, and they say USA is declining, Europe is declining, you know, or Western Europe is declining, Canada is free in fall. I was there 1.5 years and I can confirm you that it's equal of Greece, the economy of Canada. It's even worse, it's in bankruptcy. It's a typical free fall country. Its definition is crystal clear, 100% definition of free fall country. It's turning into the third world country, Canada. And it's even worse than third world country, because it looks like it's starting to be dangerous, like third world country, starting to be corrupted like Bangladesh or India, and it's 10 times more expensive. So I wanted to say that obviously some people trying to be smart, and they say like, okay, Canada, Europe, America, USA going down, and these countries like Panama, Costa Rica, possibly Colombia will go up, and they will meet eventually. They will be equal, as they say in Spanish, equal, and then Panama, Costa Rica will overtake them. But my friends, don't you forget that logically you make a mistake. As well, the world can be like that. The situation can be that North America, Canada and Europe will certainly decline. I agree with this part of the statement. And they will not go up. It's obviously they will more and more decline. There will be more criminality, more chaos. It will be economically weaker and weaker, and disorganized. And living standard will go lower and lower. But it doesn't automatically mean that Panama, Costa Rica or Colombia eventually will go up. They can go up into some certain degree, and then they can stop again. So they can be like equal in one point, but it doesn't mean if one part of the world, first world going down, the third world going automatically up. It can happen that the world will get melted because first world coming to third world, third world coming to first world, and and vice versa, first world becoming third world. So you got a huge immigration of third world citizens who turning it into the first world, of course, even though Europeans, Americans, Canadians need the workers and they exploiting them in Canada, for example, the third world citizens. But of course it's bringing some corruption, chaos. We have to be politically incorrect and honest. It's these people from third world, they bringing it there, the crime. So it's Banco de Bogota. It's a difficult situation, but on the other hand, it's very simple. It can happen that the world will somehow mutate, or it will mix up or degenerate, or change into some all two-world countries. Like some third world countries like Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica will achieve status of second world countries, but they will not make it further or upper. And some countries like Canada, they already there, or Western European countries like Austria or USA, they will just dump or lower their standards, and they will fall into the two third world countries. So the whole world will be two/third world or two world. Some part would be better, like let's say Panama, Costa Rica, still some parts of US, of course, some parts of Europe will be more civilized, like Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, US, Europe, and some will be really third world forever, like Dominican Republic, I don't know, some African countries, of course. I think they have no chance, even though they say people to invest in Somalia. This is it, because the HDP is estimated 7-8%. Where you want to put your money? To Japan, where it's not growing, or to some country where you got a promised hike up several percent. You cannot lose. The corruption is not a problem. That's what we need, is economical growth, you know. And it's difficult to find it somewhere. Because after COVID, everything got hit. COVID just undressed and showed, and God bless for COVID, because it has shown us, and it made it visible something which was invisible and hidden. That the world is in tremendous economical crisis and in a debt. You know, America owns USA $34 trillion. You cannot ever pay it back. These Canadians, they own a lot of money. I don't know it by head, but Toronto is the most bubbled market officially in the world. There are a lot of Chinese, Persian, Indians who check up the properties. They money laundering a lot of money, dirty money from Iran, from China, from India, from everywhere around the world. Just like Miami is washing machine lavadora of the world, so Toronto and Vancouver is. These liberal idiots who legalize drugs, who destroyed everything. So obviously these Canadians made look like a Lehman Brothers regarding the real estate situation in Canada. They make look like a Lehman Brothers, like a Sunday school. Because in Canada I saw 70 or 75 years. Once I saw 80 years old contracts, like loans, like people got a mortgage 80 years. They are 35 years old and bank borrowed them 75, 80 years old. They give them mortgage for 75, 80 years old, or they have 2 free mortgages. It's never happened in Europe, you know. In Canada they have 2 free, they have equity, they have other 2 mortgages, so they have free contracts on the house, you know. So Canada is in incredible debt, you know. And problem with Canada is that everybody can go, like you are on tourist visa. I didn't say I did it, but I saw a lot of people just go and take credit cards. They leave the country. And in Canada, when I talk to the young bankers, I ask them what happened when people stop paying. And they say, no, they cannot stop paying. We start to call them. I was like, what do you mean you start to call them? Like, so what if you're calling them and they still don't pay? And the young banker was not able to answer me. She says, no, it's not possible, because once we call them, they have to start to pay. And I was like, how about they go into personal bankruptcy and they steal the money from the bankers? They even didn't know this can happen. So in Canada, you got a whole generation of people who never experienced the crisis, 20, 30 years old brats who look at the money like a candy, which you can collect from the streets, from the trees like a cherries. And these people now wondering what the fuck is happening with their country. It's bankrupting. Oh, sorry. I'm really miserable cameraman. As I said, it's just for me, you know. I don't think so many people watch it. I think nobody, and I don't give a fuck. I could possibly buy water here, but I don't want to stop the video. So this is the financial district without no doubt. And we are coming back to my hotel. Oh, some beautiful girls here. So this is the problem of the world, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the problem is obviously the money, you know. So similarly, like Central Bank of Canada and Federal Reserve Bank, which is biggest scam in history of mankind, is Ponzi, you know. I mean, Fried Bankman was just a little rascal. It was just a little theft. It was compared to Federal Reserve Bank. He was a little shoplifter, you know, with his 13 billion, because Federal Reserve Bank stolen trillions and trillions of dollars, and everything is online. You can look at the film Big Short, you know. There will be so many Big Shorts like that. Oh yeah. So at least these third world countries, of course, because they were really poor, So they were not so stupid, able to do what the first world did, yeah. So the rates here are higher. Mortgages, hypotecas, as they say in Spanish, of course they are 10-12%. They never been 1-3% like in Austria or Canada or Czech Republic or in US. So they didn't let people get in debt. Maybe in Argentina they did, but usually these third world countries couldn't afford it because they would really bankrupt. Like Sri Lanka, it's a typical socialistic economy. It's one of the few third world socialistic country. Argentina as well, but Sri Lanka, they were communists. And these idiots, they always, when I arrived there before COVID, they were laughing, we can never get bankrupt. No, we can never get bankrupt. Of course, and then they bankrupted. And they will never make it back, you know. So forget about socialists, communists, they are idiots. Politically, you know, we are not equal. Regarding the multiculturalism, it doesn't work. We are racists, you know, they are hidden racists. They are bigger racists than Republicans. When you look at the Carl Gustav Jung and his shadow personality theory, you will figure out. So I think I was talking about this in another video. So obviously, the socialism or leftists' idea is not the answer. These ideas are not the answer for the world. You know, you cannot borrow money. You cannot go in some third way. You cannot be socialist because the socialism is very close to communism. You know, it's very thin line. So forget about this. How about I get a lunch here? 16K. Hey, ¿qué tal, amigo? Escalopes de pollo de limón, sugary de pel día, proteínas, cebolado, pizza. Maybe the other day, thank you, bro. I want to show you the financial district where we obviously heading to. And where is my hotel? I know I'm talking about it. 1.5 hours. Now you see, here we are, financial district. So as you can see, Bogota is a really interesting town, right? It's a really interesting town. And you know what? I think I will come back and I will disconnect the video and I will have a meal there at this little restaurant, and I will see how far I am from my hotel, and I will divide the video because I can see I have 33 minutes footage. Hey, there is some under Castellana. Fuck this. Let's take a first impression. So this is this financial district in Bogota. You can see the architecture changing, and it's becoming pretty infrastructure and civilized. Let's have a lunch here. Hey.
Bienvenido.
Cambio mi decisión.